Football returns home for possibly their final home game of the season.
And basketball begins their season.
All this and more coming up on the Penguin Rundown. What's going on, Penguin Nation? I'm John Schiraldi alongside Corey McRae. Corey, it's hard to believe it's already November.
Absolutely, and I mean, we're really at the culmination of football ending and then basketball beginning its season. So right now, this is the best time of year.
Yeah, a lot going on campus. I mean, several teams in action this past week with some big matchups heading into this weekend. But before we get into all of that, let's take a look at what Coach Chelsea Gilliam and the women's bowling team were up to.
The women's bowling team concluded their fall schedule this past weekend at the Track Cat Clash in Houston, Texas. Sunday, the Gwens used a pair of wins to finish 10th out of 17 teams. First, YSU beat 18th-ranked Tulane 4-1 before sweeping the 24th-ranked Jackson State Tigers. A solid inaugural fall for head coach Chelsea Gilliam. She and the team will pick things back up in January at the KU Invitational. This will be the first of 5 tournaments in the spring leading up to the NCAA Championship on April 13th and 15th.
Early turnovers would prove too much for the 15th-ranked Penguins to overcome this past weekend in Fargo, North Dakota. Saturday, YSU faced off with the 4th-ranked North Dakota State Bison for first place in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. The 5-time national champions took full advantage of some early Penguin turnovers to build a 17-0 lead early in the first quarter. Despite leading North Dakota State in plays, time of possession, and first downs in the first half, as well as a dominating third-quarter performance, the Penguins ultimately fell 24-3. This loss drops YSU to 6-3 overall and 4-2 in conference play. YSU will now look to bounce back and remain undefeated this Saturday at home as they host Southern Illinois on Senior Day. Southern Illinois is coming off their first win in conference play this past weekend as they racked up 574 total yards of offense en route to a 35-28 win over South Dakota. Now, earlier this week, Mike Yurstowski caught up with head coach Bo Pelini to find out what his team is doing to prepare for the Salukis.
Coach, first off, what's the overall mood with this team? You know, it's obvious this team's kind of hit a little bit of a lull the past couple of weeks. What are these guys, overall feeling?
Well, I don't know if we've hit a lull, but we had a lull. We put ourselves in a couple bad situations on the road because we didn't do what we needed to do, and I think they're upset. They should be upset, and hopefully that makes them more determined to keep, to play the way we're capable this Saturday. And we need to hit our stride and put the foot on the gas pedal and get better. And it starts starts Saturday.
The offense has struggled a little bit. Sort of over the past couple of weeks. What's it going to take to get this offense going, kind of what we've seen at the beginning of the year?
Execution, physicality, technique, take care of us. And we'll have a game plan. It's about doing what we need to do to make sure it gets executed.
Against North Dakota State, you guys held the ball for, a pretty good amount, 30-plus minutes. Is it just more of finishing drives, especially in the red zone?
Yeah, and being more accountable. You need 11 guys. You need discipline. You need better technique. You need better effort to finish off drives and finish off a 10, 11, 12 play drive, and we're just capable of more than what we've been putting out there.
Look at Illinois this week, the final home game. What jumps out to you about them, so far initially?
Well, they're a very capable team. You saw that last week against South Dakota, and they've lost a couple tight games, but they're going to spread the field on you offensively. They're kind of known for their offense, and defensively they're much better than they were a year ago, and they have nothing to lose. So you got to be ready for anything.
As you said, they beat South Dakota last week, which snapped a 5-game losing streak. Going to come in with some high, energy, expectations for them. How do you control that and kind of limit their energy early in this game?
I'm not real worried about what Southern Illinois is going to do. I'm worried about what YSU is going to do and how we're going to play, and the mindset we're going to bring, the technique and fundamentals that we're going to bring to the table, and the effort. And if we get that, we'll be okay.
We said we've seen that they've benched a senior quarterback for a younger guy. Who their senior quarterback was actually playing well, had over 2,300 yards passing. Are you guys preparing for both, thinking that the young guy might have a short leash?
Well, we've seen both. We've seen what they do and kind of how they tweak the offense based on who's in there. So we're ready for whatever they throw at us. They're both very capable. They're both good players, and they have a lot of good players around them.
This is mostly the team that's going to air it out a little bit.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think that's what their strength is. You know, they want to spread the field. They want to get the ball out to their playmakers in space, and so we're going to need to make sure we're ready for that.
Lastly, senior night here for a lot of guys. You know, Derek Rivers, Leroy Alexander, Avery Moss. How special was it for these guys, and how special have they been for you? You know, almost in your 2 years here at YSU.
Well, you know, I mean, I didn't recruit a lot of these guys. Some of them I did, but you know, you want to see them go out with a win, and you know, their last regular season home game it'll be, and you want to see it happen the right way. I'm sure a lot of their families are going to be here, and yeah, they've done everything I've asked of them since I've been here. So obviously, I think the world of these guys.
Coach, thanks so much. Good luck this weekend.
Now, YSU leads the all-time series 14-12 and is looking to make amends for a 38-31 overtime loss last year in Carbondale. Kickoff is set for 12 p.m. at Stambaugh Stadium, and you can catch the game on WKBN 570 AM, iHeartRadio, and ESPN3, as well as the Watch ESPN app.
Tough weekend for the volleyball team. They fell in straight sets to Cleveland State, who ended up being crowned the regular season Horizon League champions after the match. The bright spot for the Gwens was junior Sam Brown. Brown led the team in kills, digs, and saves. YSU also played their final home match of the season last night against Northern Kentucky. For news and stats, check out YSUsports.com.
The men's basketball team will tip off their 2016-17 season this Saturday as they host the University of Akron at 7:45 p.m. in the Coaches vs. Cancer Classic. The tournament is going to be a special night for the Penguins and 12th-year head coach Jerry Slocum. Slocum had this to say when asked about the event.
It's you know, Jim, I think we've improved in almost all areas. I think we're better because of our experience, because of what this group went through. When you play with freshmen and sophomores all year, I think the value of that experience helps you at the offensive and defensive ends. So I think we've made some great strides, basically at all. You know, in all areas of the game. Very on-task group that's worked extremely hard, group that likes each other, group that's has some clear goals and purpose what they want to achieve. It's been this group has been a blessing this fall. They've really done a nice job. Yeah, you know, it's a special night. I mean, it really is. The Coaches for Cancer doubleheader. The fact that Cleveland State and Kent are playing in in the prelim game, and then we have play Akron. All the ticket sales from and all the proceeds from these games is going directly to the American Cancer Society, thanks to Medical Mutual sponsoring the event. It's we're honoring Dan Peters and Bill Daly. We have got special uniforms made with Carmen Casisa's initials on them. So it's really an event for Youngstown State. I hope it's an event for the city of Youngstown, that we put our good foot forward and be able to give the American Cancer Society a nice check. So it's going to be a wonderful night in a lot of aspects. Akron, I think, is probably the best team in the MAC. I've expressed to our guys, I think that they will be. I think they're the best opponent that we'll face this year, other than Michigan State and Ohio State. I do believe that they're better than Valpo in our league. I think this is a team that has it all. Great guard play. Two really, really good bigs. Great experience. Almost everybody back from a team that some could argue should have gotten an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. So I think we obviously have a challenge ahead of us, but we're excited about the opportunity of the challenge, and we're excited about the opportunity to be able to host this kind of a special event here in Youngstown.
The Penguins finished last season with a mark of 11-21 overall, but returned several key players. Preseason All-Horizon League first-team selection Cameron Morris leads the charge as he averaged 20.3 points per game and had a league-best 23.3 points per game in conference play. Morse was the 8th leading scorer in the country in 2015-16 and needs just 290 points this season to become the 37th player in program history to reach the 1,000-point mark. Senior forward Matt Donlin also returns for the Penguins. Donlin had the best season in YSU history from behind the arc. He posted a 46% three-point percentage, which ranked first in the Horizon League and 4th in the nation. Matt scored in double digits 24 times and made a three-pointer in 30 of 32 contests. Again, the Penguins and the Zips will tip off at 7:45 p.m. on Saturday inside the Beagley Center. You can catch the game on 570 WKBN and ESPN3.
Talk about a tongue twister. The women's basketball team also kicks off their season this weekend. Friday, YSU will host American University at the Beagley Center. The Gwins return 7 out of their top 8 players from a season ago. However, they will start the season shorthanded as Nikki Arbanis and Sarah Cash are both sidelined with knee injuries. Speaking of Sarah Cash, the junior was named to the preseason All-Horizon League first team, as well as India Benjamin, whom was also named to the preseason All-Horizon League second team. Earlier this week, we caught up with head coach John Barnes to get his thoughts on the 2016 season.
Well, I think we're as ready as we can be. We're ready to play, in an official game against another Division I opponent. I think we had a good scrimmage and a good exhibition game, but now everyone knows it's for real, and it's about that time. I mean, I think the practice day in and day out grind is coming to a point where we need to play some other people, and everyone's excited about it. American has some very good post play. They have good size. I think they only give up, or last year, obviously their team's going to be different this year than last year, but last year they, gave up in the mid to high 50s in terms of points per game, which is good. Their defense was solid. They look to score the ball in the paint more than shoot the three per se. At least last year's team did. So I think matchups wise, it's very similar matchups. It's going to be, I think, a battle of wills in this one.
Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. in the Beagley Center. Best of luck to Coach Barnes and the entire women's team.
How about some tennis? This past weekend, the men's team competed at the Cleveland State Invitational. Yossi Dahan led the way, advancing to the championship singles match. Now, Dahan had to battle fellow Penguin Thomas Rodriguez in the semifinals. Dahan would defeat Rodriguez in 3 sets to reach the championship round. However, he would drop the match to Cleveland State's Nico Mostardi in 3 sets. The women's tennis team was also in action this past weekend as they hosted the YSU Invitational. Sophia Macias opened the tournament with a win over Ohio Northern's Priscilla Nunez in 2 sets. Macias would lose her quarterfinals match, but finished the day with a win in the consolation bracket. This was both the men's and the women's last competition until January.
The cross-country team will continue their impressive season tomorrow in the NCAA Great Lakes Regional Invitational. Check out YSUsports.com for updates and results. Now, the men's cross-country team is coming off their first Horizon League championship in school history. You can check out last week's episode to see our sit-down with Alan Burns. Good luck to Alan and the entire team.
The swim and dive team had a strong showing last weekend despite losing their meet with Duquesne. Victoria Rose had another strong day, winning 3 events. The junior took home the 200 freestyle, 200 backstroke, and 200-meter individual medley. 2 other Penguins also won individual events. Megan Seifert swept diving, winning the 1 and 3-meter dives. Good luck to Victoria, Megan, and the rest of the team as they compete in the Cleveland State Mangus Invitational on November 18th through the 20th.
Now, John, now it's time for our Play of the Week.
Everyone's favorite part of the show, and I think I have a feeling who this week's honors go to. It's one of the more feared players in YSU secondary. Let's take a look at the tape. This week's Penguin Play of the Week goes out to Leroy Alexander. Here you see Easton's stick drop back, but the ball-hawking safety picks him off near the sideline and avoids a couple of tacklers before being brought down. This is Leroy's 2nd interception on the year and 6th of his career. Boy, that's a guy the Penguins are going to need to play well this Saturday to get things rolling again with a W, Core.
He wanted the football and he got it. That's a Deion Sanders-esque play right there.
Deion Sanders, Cam Chancellor, we just call him Leroy. But that about does it for us here at the Penguin Rundown. For news, highlights, and more, be sure to check out YSUsports.com and be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook at Penguin Rundown 1. I'm John Schiraldi.
And I'm Corey McCray.
Stay classy, Youngstown.